It's another episode of The Reset. Welcome back. In this episode, we need to find out what Pro Football Focus ranked the Seahawks offensive line, what ESPN ranked the Seahawks offense going into the season, and what is the body fat percentage of Brandon Mebane? Like and subscribe. Let's go.
It's the Reset with G. Scott.
Let's go. We back up in this thing. Come on, it's the Reset right here. Brandon Mebane, 13-year career legend, top 50 Seahawk player in history. And, of course, Cat Stokes is back in the building. What's happening? You good?
I'm good.
Look here, this episode about to get fired up. I hope y'all listening and ready to go. By the way, the Reset is the new episodes is getting ready to come near you. First, what is your body fat percentage, Brandon Mebane?
Man, my body fat is 24%.
What? Whoa. Big
Yeah,
dude
I'm
walking around
24%.
like that, you got 24%?
Yeah, man, I want to get it like 12, 13. You know, I feel like 12, 13, I'll be lean, cut up like a steak, you know? Yeah.
Hey, what else on your body? You know, since we asking about your body, you
So I
24%.
got
What you weighing?
I got 36 pounds of muscle. And I'm 285. Yeah.
285. 285 with Cat. What's your thoughts?
What do you mean? What's my thoughts? I don't know. He just talking about his body weight. I have nothing to say to that.
Hey, I did a brain scan too, right?
Oh.
And I found out something interesting with my brain scan. So I did the brain scan, and then one of the first things the doctor said, he said, "Yeah, man, I see your brain scan, and your nose is crooked." I was like, "Dang, like I fix my nose." So I'm like, "Wait a minute." Yeah. So I'm like, wow. Like I never knew that. I never felt like I broke my nose or somebody hit me in the nose.
Cat, what's your thoughts on the
My
brain
nose
scan
is
and his nose being crooked?
Yeah.
You be looking in the mirror now, just
Yeah, I be looking in the mirror like, dang, like,
man.
Plastic surgery?
That's different to get your brain scan to come back and be like your nose crooked.
Okay, let's get down to business. We done off the body fat.
yeah.
So Pro Football Focus, PFF, came out with the rankings of what they think is going to happen this upcoming football season. They ranked the offensive lines. Number one, I think that we all can agree, I think that there's no doubt about it, the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw them whoop ass in the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. Bang, you agree. Cat, you agree. Let's get right to the point. I scroll down the list. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, Seahawks ain't there. I get to 15, Seahawks ain't there. I get to 20, Seahawks ain't there. I get to 25, damn! Seahawks ain't there. Cat Stokes, the Seahawks going into the season are ranked 30th out of 32 teams. And before you all answer, let me tell you what they said. They said, quote, "There is not much to suggest that the Seahawks won't again field a bottom-tier offensive line. Seattle used its first pick on Gray Zabel, who is projected to start at left guard. However, a rookie who played at the FCS level last season is unlikely to provide a significant upgrade to a unit that allowed the second highest pressure rate in 2024 at 34.5%. Kat, I want to start with you first on this topic. Your thoughts?
My thought is y'all need to listen to the Reset because we've been saying that. We've been saying that. Bang been saying that. That ain't nothing new. They ain't say nothing new. So, like, I can't say I disagree because I'm biased. I'm never going to put my Seahawks at 30. But when you put, facts on the table, I can't fight against
So when
that.
you say facts on the table, and right now, bang, when people say, and Kat says facts on the table, I want to go back to this point. Seattle used its first-round draft pick on Gray Zabel. However, a rookie that played at the FCS level last season is unlikely to provide a significant upgrade to this unit. Bane?
Whew. I'm gonna start right here. We had this conversation early in the year when it came to the NFL draft. Like I said, I go back and say he didn't really have the body of work when it comes to playing against top tier talent, right? We all know that. And from my experience and my personal thoughts and my overall experience, I don't think you can really say a guy is a first or second, third rounder due to the fact of a performance in the Senior Bowl. Like I said, the Senior Bowl is not a realistic game. You can't go off that game. I think the only way for him to get better and the offensive line to get better is that they're going to have to practice one-on-ones, ones versus ones, and see where they're at. And I think another thing that the Seattle offensive line has to address is they can't go 5-0 protection the whole game, right? So I'm gonna give you something, right?
Explain that to everyone listening when you talked about that type of protection. Please explain.
So 5-0 protection is pretty much you got 5 offensive linemen and they all just 5 offensive linemen blocking 4 dudes. It can be a blitz, so it can be sometimes they can ask them to block 7 dudes. That's very impossible to where you have like a receiver, tight end, 2-3 receivers go off for routes, right? You have 5 people, 5 eligible guys go off for routes. And sometimes, to me, I believe that no matter what day and age you play in football, you need 7, sometimes 6-man protection, right? So this is the thing, right? I'm gonna give you guys a thought right there, right? So in baseball, you can go 3 for 10, right? You can hit 3 times. You can be at bat 10 times. You can get 3 hits, right? Boom. That's like an all-star level, right? Yeah. In football, you can have 10 reps and lose 3. That's a bad game, right? So to me, you can't really put the Seahawks offensive line in a bad position when you run a 5-0 protection and you asking these guys, no matter what their talent level is, no matter how good or where they went in the first or second, third, whatever round, they need help. Like, we all need help. Football is the ultimate team game. You can't block one-on-one the whole game because all it takes is 1 or 2 reps to where that guy, if he didn't get a sack, he got pressure on him and it forced the interception, or anything can happen, with defensive lineman in a quarterback's face.
Bane, you said it. Bane, you said all last year.
Right.
When the Seahawks offensive line wasn't playing well, you were actually a defender of this offensive line. You kept saying that they have the guys, they have the personnel. Right. What was it about the offensive line that made them not be successful that can even help? Because they got some of the same guys with the addition of Gray Zabel. Can you get more specific, Bane? What was it?
Use the tight end to block. You keep the tight end in there to block. Keep the running back in there to block. Put a fullback in there also to help block. In the backfield. Just to give the quarterback more time, because sometimes it could be cover sacks to where they got some good DBs on the defense, right? To where that DB is all over the receiver and the quarterback nah, I can't get that route. I can't throw that in there because I'll throw an interception. So that's giving the time for the defensive line to get to the quarterback. So, rush and the coverage just work hand in hand, right?
So last year, the Seahawks offensive line, Cat, allowed the second highest pressure rate in 2024 with 34.5%. Geno was under pressure. Bane, how much did that have to do with the offensive? Did you like the offense last year? Did you like the offensive coordinator?
I would say that offensive coordinator, he brought a college mentality to the NFL. And in college, you can get away with a lot of stuff, but in the NFL, you can't get away with a lot of that stuff because, you're going against the best of the best. No matter what round guys went in, no matter what their stats look like, you got a guy that's over there on that defensive side of the ball where nobody probably know his name. But the dude is an excellent, great player. He just everywhere he's supposed to be. Like I said, he might not blow you out the water with stats, but he is accountable and he just does his job. Okay. So my suggestion is hold on to the coaching staff. When I say offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator, establish a relationship and get to know your own personnel to where, hey man, this guy is not that good at that, man. Let's get him some help. Let's slide the protection this way. Let's slide the protection that way. Let's get him some help.
Pro Football Focus, Cat has them at 30th. Mm-hmm. There's 32 teams. You disagree. I disagree. What number then would you put the Seahawks offense going into this season? Ooh. Eagles are number 1. Seahawks are right now at 30th. If you had to give a number, and by the way, you guys can put it in the chat right now. Where do you say? If you disagree with 30, cool. Then where would you rank this Seahawks offensive line going into this season, Cat?
Or you saying overall offense or offense?
No, I'm talking about offensive line. I'm going to get to the offense in a second.
Okay.
Offensive line. Where you at, Cat?
I disagree, but I don't know where I'd put him. That's the hard part. That's the hardest part. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think that's just really what it is. It's like the fan of me is like, no. But, like, going back, like, the point's been made. My question, though, is do you think that Coach Mike thinks that Gray Zabel can be developed because our defense, on the flip side, is being compared to maybe one of the top 10?
Yeah. Well, I just don't think it would be fair to put what the Seahawks do with the offensive line on Gray Zabel, right?
True.
So at the end of the day, Gray Zabel, this is his rookie season. Mm-hmm. This will be his first year. I've seen Charles Cross was incredible. He has been incredible for this team. Charles Cross isn't the reason for all of the success or the failures of it. It is a continuity thing. It's a chemistry thing. It is an entire group. The entire offensive line needs to play well together. And like Bain says, we also have to put the offensive line in great situations. And I'm sorry, last season, for everybody that talks about the red zone, you didn't like the red zone last year, right? The Seahawks weren't successful, right? That wasn't all on Geno.
No.
It wasn't all on the offensive line.
No.
It was some of the concepts. It was some of the run game wasn't established. How many times on 4th and 1 could we not get 4th and 1? Yeah. How many times did we get stopped at the goal line? So everything comes into effect. Now, moving to the next topic. ESPN has now come out with their rankings going into the season, right? Just to give context, in 2023, ESPN ranked the Seattle Seahawks offense number 4 going into the season. 2024, they ranked them 8th going into the season. This year, they ranked them 19th. Now, Kat, I'm going to start off with you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Well, I'd like to lead with questions the most. So my first thing is like, what are the criteria that we use to move up and down the rankings? One, I believe probably it's the quarterback. That's why we moved down so much. It's a lot easier to pinpoint where we're going as an offense when we know who our quarterback is. So I really think that's why we moved down, is because got rid of Geno. DK's gone. They're like, hey, y'all, we're looking at we don't know what's going really cooking on in the Seahawks, so you're going to move down the marks.
Right.
My question is like, are we putting in like who we're playing against? Are we looking at? Yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Well, I would come right in and say this, Bain, and I'll throw this towards you. First, the first thing that stands out to me about this, they're ranked 2023 ranked 4, 2024 ranked 8th, and now all the way down to 19. First, I want to start off with this. It makes me feel like, number one, that ESPN in these rankings, they don't think that Sam Darnold is going to be a better quarterback than Geno Smith. Your thoughts, Bain?
I would say let's just be realistic. I would say to just give a realistic ranking, I will wait to about between week 6 and week 8. That's when I would really feel like you can give a legitimate like ranking, right? Because you got to factor in, this is just part of the game. You got to consider injuries. A lot of these teams that's ranked above Seattle is going to get, there's going to be some injuries. It's going to be some injuries to where some guys is going to miss 3-4 weeks. That's going to, have a effect on the offense. Yeah, so I like this is like a pre-ranking. I wouldn't get all up in arms about it. It's kind of like an unknown. I would say it's like an unknown. If you're in the top five, I'll say top five, and it's kind of like, yeah, they've been pretty consistent. You can kind of say, yeah, they've been pretty consistent, but it's kind of like an unknown. It's like we don't know.
Man, what you talking about? Hey, man, look here. We live life in the unknown. When you get ready to go to that concert, how you think that concert gonna be? Man, I bet it's gonna be fire. You get ready to go to that party. How that party gonna be? Man, I bet it's gonna be fire. Well, you really can't judge it until you go. No, I'm judging it now. I'm judging who
That's
all gonna,
real. Now that's real.
who all gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. No, wait a minute. We can't have it both ways. So we either gonna talk about this or we're not gonna talk about it. So it's number 19, and here's where I think if you think that this is disrespectful, fine. But here's some of the reasons why I think. I think number one, they don't think Sam Darnold is better than Geno Smith. Number two, in this, they say, even while acknowledging that DK Metcalf's 2020 season looks like an outlier and Tyler Lockett's decline has become apparent, Seattle, watch this, Seattle might have downgraded at both spots. And that's at the wide receiver spot. They're basically saying that by replacing them with Cooper Kupp and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, this right here is saying that they do not believe that the Seahawks upgraded with the wide receiver position. Kat, come on, talk to me. Don't ask a question. Give me a hot take now.
The hot take. No, I mean,
you got the number?
The number.
You got that number?
Don't do
Eagles.
it. Don't do it. Don't.
You know what you got to do. I'm teasing. They're not. Again. They're not wrong. This is when I came out when I saw the trade from the jump. I was so emotional because I was like, "What? Who are you going to replace?" And I agree with Bane where I think Jackson Smith and Jigba. I do believe they think that he is our boy. However, we need a developer. We need that lead singer, and I don't think he's that yet. So they're correct. Like, they're correct. I'm not going to disagree. Now, to draw it back though, at the end of our placement, they talked about Noah Fant. We need other stars. It doesn't just need to be on JSN. That's where I'm at. Noah Fant, Kenny K3, KW3. Y'all got to step up. Like, it has to be a dynamic offense. It can't just be JSN and Sam Darnold, because for me, that is like drinking a warm LaCroix.
Damn. A warm LaCroix is no fun.
It's like, it's good. Like, it's like LaCroix, y'all, but it's a little warm.
Let me just tell y'all something. I think right now, East Coast bias, folks is disrespecting Seattle the same way they used to disrespect Seattle before the Pete Carroll days, right? I remember, Bang, you remember every time you turn on the damn TV, the highlights, the Seattle Seahawks was getting beat up by somebody on the highlights. You remember them days, Bang? And here's the truth. I actually do think JSN is a number one. I think he's a number one now. I think we don't need to call Antonio Brown. I mean, not Antonio Brown. We don't need to call my man from the Eagles. We don't need to call anybody. They have what they have going forward. Now, I think it's a good thing, Bane, that they're under the radar. You right? So right now, the Seahawks are under the radar going into this season. Can you tell us how that's a benefit, being under the radar?
Being under the radar is, hopefully, like, a lot of teams won't take you serious. Be like, oh man, we got this. They practice. Say like the Giants would come in and be like, oh man, they ain't got nobody on the offense, man. We're gonna blow them out. And then you just come with that left hook, man, and you're like, man, they got us, man. Like, how did that happen?
Bang. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Tell us a story about a time when you and your teammates underestimated a team and they came out and whooped your ass.
I could tell you reverse what happened one
that ain't
time.
never been
This was 2011, and Rocky Bernard actually told me this, right? So Rocky Bernard was with the Giants then, right?
Yeah.
At this time, right?
Uh-huh.
So Rocky, this was like, he told me like 2 years later or something like that, right? So he said, man, Rocky was like, we playing, he was with the Giants, and we like, yeah, man, we playing Seattle this weekend. We going there, right? So what happened at they practice, he was like, man, they was messing around, they was messing up. It was like, man, we ain't taking these dudes serious and stuff like that. And we went to New York and played the Giants, and we put it on them. And they were shocked. They was upset, mad. They were frustrated during the game. And we went out there, man, and snuck them, and they couldn't believe it. We didn't have a winning record. I think they had a decent winning record. I think they actually won the Super Bowl that year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they did. They beat the Patriots. And, yeah, we caught them. They had a good team. They was loaded. And, I think that woke them up. That was a wake-up game for them. And, they had success after that.
Go ahead.
I was like, has that narrative ever negatively affected when you've been on a team though? Like you've been hearing, they and all that. Have you been on a team where guys were starting to buy into that narrative about themselves? Did that affect the locker room? How'd y'all play together?
Not really, because we are when it changed when Pete got there. The way we practiced, he never took the foot off the gas pedal. I remember one time we was in Buffalo, and when I say we didn't take the foot off the gas pedal, we was in Buffalo. No, matter of fact, we was playing Buffalo, but we played them in Toronto, right? We beaten Buffalo like 35-7, right? And we had a fake punt in to where we was gonna run this fake punt just in case we needed it, right? So we beat, like I said, at this point, this is probably third quarter, we beat them 42-0 or 42-7. And on our sideline, we was like, man, we about to run this fake punt. And we was on the sideline like, nah, man, please don't do that, bro. That's so disrespectful. We don't need to do that. Let's save it, right?
Right.
Because all week we was like, man, we're going to run this. We're going to run it, right? We ran it, and we got it. And we looked at their sideline. We was like, dang, bro. So after the game, we went up to them. We was like, hey, man, we apologize, bro. We didn't mean to do that, bro. That wasn't our call, bro. We beat them like 56-14. Yeah, we destroyed them. And it was like, it was one of the ones we didn't really need to run. We ran it, and it was like, that's brutal.
Okay,
yeah.
Wait. Okay, so do you like that mentality from a coach? Because I feel like people want to pick and choose when to keep that dog on. And you apologize like, hey, man, we didn't mean to do that. But but do you think that there was some kind of psychology with that with Pete Carroll?
It was a message that went around the whole NFL, because the week before that, we put like 62 on Arizona, right? So everybody was looking at us like, dude, what's going on in Seattle, man? Like, what they got going on in here? And this was 2012. And in my opinion, I wouldn't have ran that fake, but we ran it, and it was just like, hey, man, like, you only can control what you control. I couldn't go to people like, man, don't run that, man. Don't do that, because he'd have been like, all right, well, we ain't running it. You fired.
Who was the team doing that last year? Was it Detroit? Or am I wrong?
Oh, Detroit was going for it on 4th and 1?
Yeah,
fourth down all the time?
That was Detroit last year. They're like, we're going to let y'all know we're not playing.
I mean,
hey.
Philly run that rugby play, man. I don't like that. I don't think you can stop it. So that's a whole nother conversation.
The tush push?
God, that's ridiculous.
All right. Last topic, and this topic right here is a big one, and it has to do with being scammed. Kat, you ever been scammed?
Yeah.
Damn.
Not no more.
You been scammed before? Bang. You been scammed before?
Dude, I get spam calls.
No.
No, it was not spam.
Not spam. Not spam.
Spam is scam. Both of them the same, because they calling to scam you, but it's spam, but they calling to spam you.
Bang,
you know what I'm talking about.
Bang, just say you've been scammed. You've been scammed before, haven't you?
No. Absolutely
Stop
not.
the cap. Yeah. Stop the cap.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So let me tell you what happened. Vikings defensive end Dallas Turner was scammed out of $240,000 after someone was impersonating a Chase bank rep that told him that his identity was being used at a branch down in Arizona. This according to the Star Tribune. What he did then was, he wired two $220,000 transfers to secure his accounts, only to realize it was a scam. Now, the police have identified the suspects. They arrested him and everything. But the reason why I'm bringing this story up is because if you guys remember, Clinton Dix, former NFL player, he went to comment on Instagram, and he says on there, charge it to the game. $240,000 is play money. So $240,000 to me is not play money.
That is not.
Kat, would you agree?
No.
And I'm sure most of you listening, that $240,000 is not play money. So I want to ask one of my rich friends, Brandon Meebane, is $240,000 play money?
Absolutely not. Man, when you're not getting them checks no more, every dollar that you have, you counting for it, man. Even when you get them checks, man, you can't take 200 and whatever the number is for, like his play money. Now, if you say like $2, all right, cool. But yeah, that's not play money. That's a lot of money, man.
Being serious though, I'd imagine that your teammates, former teammates, you guys are always can be targets. When you played the game, even today, when you played, how did you prevent yourself from being a target from a scam or somebody stealing money from you? What'd you do?
I would say in that case, he should have called his financial advisor. But I'm noticing with a lot of these young guys in this generation, they don't have financial advisors, right? That's what I noticed like when I was on my tail end of my career, right? The first thing I would have done was contact my financial advisor, contact my bank, right? Because usually when you call these people or they call you, it's on a recorded line and you hear like a beep or something, right? But even if you don't hear the beep or you don't hear none of that stuff, the first thing you do, call your financial advisor and make sure this is legit or not legit. It's not, if it's a crisis, it can wait. If it's an emergency, it can wait until your financial advisor see like, okay, is this real or not? So, yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, it just seems like the problem that I have sometimes with young guys or just guys in general when they finally get money, even if they do have a financial advisor, right? I've known of guys having financial advisors and just letting the financial advisor take care of all their finances without them knowing and understanding what's happening with their money, right?
Right.
However, Bang, I did see it start to get better. I thought that you guys, the NFL, started to do a great job of educating new rookies as they come into the league. When you first came in the league, how was it getting that education about money?
Finances is one of those things that it's just ongoing learning. It's like knowing football, right? Like when you get a financial advisor, I'm pretty sure the financial advisors don't know as much football as you know, right? So finance is one of those things that it's like, a lot of us didn't grow up having a lot of money and finances to where our parents have financial advisors. So it's just a new area to where you have to learn and constantly educate yourself on finance. Like when I was a rookie, we didn't have YouTube, right? So you can go on YouTube, you can play a video game, mute it and just listen to like a financial literacy, channel or whatever, like what to do and what not to do, like what not to be in a rush in, what to be in a rush or to get, like real estate or whatever it is. It's like none of that stuff is going anywhere, right? So if you don't invest in it now, it's not bad. It's always going to be stuff that's going to be there later. It's always going to be stuff that always come up to where you can invest in, to where your money can grow, and long term, short term, whatever. So,
Man, you ever had some teammates get scammed or had some teammates lose some money?
Nah, those stories. Now, you know what's interesting, right? When it comes to finance and the locker room, those are conversations that typically you really don't have with each other. It might be like 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about that.
yeah, it's not something that's really that's really like a major topic of discussion. I feel like when you do have those discussions, it be guys that's in their later careers to where they're talking about, things that they're doing, things that they're not doing. But when it comes to finances, man, in the locker room, you'll be surprised how sensitive those subjects like really have. When you talk about it, they're very sensitive, and they don't have them. And yeah, I think they need to have more of those conversations. The older guy talking to the younger guy, and the younger guy talking to the older guy. Just go back and forth and ask questions. Yeah.
Well, that's it, y'all.
Boom.
Man, it's been real. Kat, always good to have you
Thank
here
you for
in
having
studio. Bang, always appreciate you. Hey, make sure you all like and subscribe. We'll be back again next week. Share this with your friends. And by the way, make sure you answer. Where should the Seahawks be ranked offensively going into this season? Is 19 about right? Should they be higher? Should they be lower? Is it disrespectful? We'll talk all about it. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you rocking with us. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.